Wrestling Day to each and every one of you. My name is Professor Rex Youngblood, welcoming you to the official teaser of the Top of Wrestling podcast. And the man that is going to be joining me each and every week, my brother by my side. We are sidekicks. We're like Bart Simpson and Milhouse, Batman and Robin, Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, except we don't know who's going through the window just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome O.D.M.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Thanks for the intro. Appreciate it.
I love the nice, strong Hogan coming in there. I was not anticipating that.
So those are the kinds of high quality impressions you're going to get with this kind of podcast here.
You may not have been able to see his air quotes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, you'll learn sarcasm as we get through this. So thanks for the introduction, Professor. Much appreciated. Just want to cut a quick promo here. This is a great time to be a wrestling fan, and that's what we are. We're wrestling fans. We're not insiders. We don't know the business. We're just smart marks, and we love talking about wrestling. And it is a great time to be a wrestling fan. AEW, WWE, NXT, New Japan, Ring of Honor, I guess Impact. It's a great time. But the fact of the matter remains there are many things that are still wrong with all of these companies. Maybe not NXT, but most of them. So there's good, there's bad, and there's just batshit crazy. And I can't wait to talk about all of it.
That's very true, and that's the point of this whole thing. We're going to talk about the best, the top of wrestling, and sometimes the lows of it. But at the end of the day, we're not only just going to focus on the current 2019 or even 2020 upcoming stuff. We're not going to talk about just present day stuff. We are going to talk about the best of wrestling, the history of wrestling. We call this the Top of Wrestling podcast for a reason, because each and every week we are going to be bringing to you a top topic. What we'll be doing is focusing on top 50 or top 100, whatever the number may be, on different number of topics. It may be stables, wrestlers, female wrestlers, top venues of all time, top territories or promotions, maybe even the worst decisions of all time. We're going to be going through a lot of the very best of wrestling because, let's be honest, he's right. ODM is absolutely right. It is a great time to be a wrestling fan. However, it also is so flooded out there with so much stuff that it's hard to keep up and sometimes remember what the very best of wrestling is, and that's what we're going to be talking about here each and every week. But we're going to even update you each and every week with This Week in Wrestling History, and we'll even give you a match or two suggesting that you should watch because, like we said, it's flooded out there with a lot of wrestling nowadays and everybody's competing with each other. But if you want to go back and watch something classic and that you can bank on is going to be great, that's what we're going to be here for. But from there, ODM, do me a favor. Let them know how they're going to be able to listen to this.
For right now, we're going to be available on YouTube. That's the easiest thing for us to do at this time. But the plan is definitely to get out to as many venues as we can to get this podcast out to you. And I know we're hoping to get on, let's not get our hopes too high too early, but iTunes, Google, Stitcher, maybe SoundCloud, any way that we can do it, we're going to get it out to you because we want you to be a part of this. And as part of that, we have pages on Facebook. We got a Twitter account. We got an Instagram account. The Instagram account, might need a little help from the youngins to figure out how to use that shit. I'm too old for that. But all three pages, we encourage feedback. We want to hear from you. We want to know how you disagreed with us, when you agreed with us. We want to know what your suggestions are for future lists. And the fact of the matter is, one way or another, you're going to disagree with somebody because as much as the professor and I agree on, we disagree on. All I have to do is say Undertaker, and that'll get them going pretty quick. So, yeah, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. To start, the podcast will be available on YouTube. And as soon as we get them up anywhere else, we're going to let you know right away on all social media platforms and on the podcast.
First and foremost, I cannot wait to argue with you each and every week, ODM. But let me say this. In my 30-plus years as a wrestling fan, I'm talking nonstop weekly shows, pay-per-views, nonstop of any promotion. I'm there. I've watched it all. And I have seen some good wrestling. I have seen some great wrestling. But I have seen some shit. And to be honest with you, unfortunately, there seems to be a lot more of that nowadays than there are the better times. So that's why I am here. That is why ODM is here each and every week to talk about the top of wrestling, the top of the business, the stuff that you actually loved so much that it made you tune in each and every week. That's what we're going to be talking about here. So we hope that each and every week you do join us on YouTube. Again, beginning for right now, we're hoping to expand further from there. And next week, 1 week from today, will be our very first episode. We have already decided what the top topic is going to be, since unfortunately we haven't had the chance for anybody to be able to vote, but next week there will be that opportunity. Our topic next week will be the top 50 stables. Well, you say 50, that's a lot. Yeah, it is, because we're going to mainly be talking about that the entire episode, because it's the top of wrestling. It's the top 50 stables. So there are a lot of stables. We have, as we talked about at the beginning, we have WWE, AEW, NXT, you still have NWA, MLW, Impact, Ring of Honor, but we're still talking about our past days of all the greater promotions that are no longer here as well. So there's a lot of stables that are out there, so that's why we thought 50 is a nice round number. Get your list together. Tell us what you think would be number 1, 2, 3, or who the worst stable of all time is. ODM, he's going to make a list. I'm going to make a list, and we're going to see how things go as to where we decide that actual list is what we're going to present. But next week will be the top 50 stables here on the Top of Wrestling podcast. We really hope that you join us each and every week. Again, my name is Professor Rex Youngblood. With me, as always, is ODM. And we have just 2 words for you.
Gotta go.
I ain't your friend and you're not mine. This difference helps me cross the line. Every time I'm confronted, I'm